Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's just so smooth, got the city on her vibe, with that justice in her name is where the truth comes alive. From the headlines to the plot, she's got her ear to the ground, serving news that's real. With the beat and a sound. Word on the street, justice in the air, bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. A calm in the storm with that urban kick. She's got style and grace like a journalistic trick. From the heart of the city to the outskirts wild, she captures the world like a camera dial. Word on the street, justice in the air, bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. Calm in the storm with that urban kick. She's got style and grace like a journalistic trick. From the heart of the city to the outskirts wild, she captures the world like a camera dial. Word on the street, justice in the air, bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. She paints a shade that aren't black or white. In the ink of her stories, there's always some light. No matter where you are, you'll hear her call, echoing the truth, standing tall. Word on the street, in the air, bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back to the Odyssey Podcast with your girl Word and of course the First Lady OG. And we are back in the building, like I told you guys before, because as you guys know, I was having like a whole bunch of just technical difficulties. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do the rundown again. But as y'all know, before we even go into it, I just want to thank you guys for keeping me in the algorithm. I want to thank the replay gang, my bushwatchers, my beautiful moderators. When I tell you I love them so much because they're always here in support. And of course the subscribers. And like I always say, tell a friend to tell a friend. Now forgive me because like I say, you know the vibe. I don't even got to say too much because you know the vibe. But this is Word on the Street, and we are back in the building, and we got a lot to talk about. And I'm going to go back through the rundown that I started earlier because, like I said, I had a lot of people come through. It was the audio was like not the best, but it's all good. I'm back in the building. Y'all already know the vibes right before work. First Lady OG, how are you feeling tonight? First Lady OG, are you in the building? So I got First Lady on OG in the building,
Apologies,
but like I say,
y'all.
sometimes we
Y'all know
just have a bit. All right,
yes,
yes,
we
yes.
be difficulty charging. I'm trying to I had to find the charger, y'all, because I don't want to clap on y'all. I came in on one device, switched to another. I'm over here acting like I'm in a real studio, y'all. Hold on. Had to get off the phone, get on the computer. Computer about to die. So I'm gonna give y'all some power. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna turn on my camera too. All right. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Let's turn with my camera. Okay, where's my other bag? Hold on, y'all. Give me a hot second. Uh-oh. I'm making noises and stuff. Where's the camera button now, y'all? Where we at? Okay, we coming back, y'all. Y'all gonna be able to see what's going on. Anyway, oh, y'all know what's my born day. So, y'all, I'm still fake. I ain't even really go nowhere, but I still have to unpack because y'all know me. I just got stuff everywhere. Oh, she's back, y'all. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. I need
Oh,
to
no,
sit
no, no. I was waiting to make sure that you was good. No, no, no worries, First Lady OG. No worries. Like I said, we back on the streets with word on the streets. And yes, it was the First Lady's born day. And like I said to you guys earlier in the first video, it was just like such a beautiful, always a beautiful experience when you could actually experience it. Just different journeys with your parents. You know what I mean? Like it is
Yes,
always
yes.
amazing. Siblings and just being grateful and having gratitude to be able to have opportunity to do the things that we are able to do. So I would
Yes.
say like for me, it was like, oh my God, it was
Grateful and
beautiful. It
thankful,
was well
guys.
needed. It was definitely beautiful. I, yeah, definitely enjoyed myself. Although I was in a rush, it was a lot going on, but I mean, it was worth every bit of it. I don't know what happens to the First Lady OG. I know she'll be back in the building. All right, here she goes. Let me add her back. Here we go. But yeah, y'all, I told y'all, okay, I don't know what's going on. Is all device not connected? They will need to connect their mic slash cam before you add the stream. Okay. So First Lady OG, you gotta add your mic and your
Okay.
camera.
I wasn't hearing
Okay,
me
so we
either.
should be good now. So
Okay. Let me look.
perfect. I think we're good now because that's
It's
what it was
not
saying
letting
every
me
time you
every
got kicked
time
off.
I ask. Oh, camera. Okay, hold on.
But yes, guys, we are back in the building. I was having technical difficulties, like I said earlier. But we're going to just go through a run through and we're going to jump into what I was speaking about after I spoke about the T Hood update. I definitely was doing the T Hood update for those of my subscribers that have been following that story. I know that it has been some subscribers that has almost like when you watch certain people on TV and you watch them through a series, grow like almost a rapport with them. So, like I said before, I'll give you guys that update. It's still more to come. It's for me, I'm also giving a bit of clarity when I speak on this as well. Because it was so many things to surface through the media. And if you understand what the media looks like, then you know you definitely have to take your time and like cipher through what makes sense from what doesn't make sense. But going into the T Hood situation really, really quickly, and then into the Young Thug Ratton situation, as well as YNW Bortlen, because look, it's been a lot of shit. So, like I would say, word on the street currently right now, when it comes down to this T Hood situation, aka Tevin Hood, originally when police threw out the information, they stated it was a self defense case based on um, the calls that was made and the situation, which was supposed to be a domestic violence disturbance. Since then, an autopsy has been done, and now that the autopsy is done, they are now ruling the unalivement of T Hood, aka Tevin Hood, as a homicide. Okay, so let me give you a little backstory for those of you who are not familiar. The upcoming rapper from Atlanta, T Hood. He's been known. Give me a second. I don't know what happened to the First Lady OG, but I know she will be right back. But he is an upcoming rapper at the time in Atlanta. His connections were connected to a young lady by the name of Kelsey Frost. Now, Kelsey Frost is the daughter of Kirk and Rashida Frost. So, for those of you who are familiar with Love and Hop Atlanta, then you would know that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, they did put out certain things involving their children at the time. So you'll see little clips of them through Love and Hip Hop Atlanta as they were younger, and Kirk and them were actually trying to, navigate the reality scene as well as showing their parenting side of it all. With that being said, Kelsey Frost is the significant other of T Hood, the deceased individual. And what took place was her brother came in from work. And I just got to paint the picture really, really quickly. And then I'll give you guys like even a little bit more of a back end of it, right? So I'm trying to get through everything a bit quick. So bear with me. Chelsea Frost has been involved in a domestic violence situation with this young man, T Hood, for for as long as they've been involved with each other. A lot of people questioned where was Rashida, where was Kirk, which is the parents of Kelsey. They were around, but then they understood that through their protection of their daughter, she still found her way back into the situation with T Hood to where they felt like they needed to wash their hands with it until she figured out that he was not right for her. And I like, listen, you could never tell a person or a parent like what their feelings are when they make certain decisions. And I'm sure that was just a hard decision in itself for them to make. Okay. However, this is where we have to understand family gets involved. And when family gets involved, it could get a little bit, I can't even explain it. It just gets a little bit in, right? Just because your family never wants to see you violated, hurt, none of that. So her brother, which is Kai Frost, which biologically they are blood siblings, right? Um, him coming in, so seeing his sister being beat up, on top of him knowing it's been happening for a long time. In fact, her reaching out to T Hood's mom and telling T Hood's mom, like, listen, he keeps on abusing me. I'm putting his stuff outside. Like, she has put out certain things that was there. However, she still continued to go back. But unfortunately, when you, as a sibling, or even as a father or mother, you come in to a situation to where you consistently seeing the same things happen, you begin to a certain point get tired of seeing what you're seeing. The misinterpretation was Kelsey called her brother. She didn't call her brother. It was so many different things. They stated two brothers was out there. No. So now when we get a little bit more clarity on the case, what took place was she was being physically harmed by T Hood, in which a neighbor made a phone call because of the severity in which the neighbors said they were feeling like whoever was being harmed needed assistance. When the neighbor called, it went through as a domestic disturbance. When police now on their way arriving, that's supposed to be arriving to the scene, unfortunately, they didn't get there in time because K Frost, which is the brother of Chelsea Frost, then arrives from work. And when now he arrives from work, he walks into the home, witnessing his sister being assaulted. As he's witnessing his sister being assaulted, he's trying to attempt to assist her, but then the victim that we're going to look at right now, that's going to be currently a victim, and I'll explain why he's going to be currently a victim. He pulls out a firearm which jams. Now, when the firearm jams, it gives Chelsea Chelsea's brother, Kai Frost, a chance to like run out and get something to come back in. Now, when he enters back in, he has a weapon and in which he fires the weapon. And in him firing the weapon, because T Hood knew that his firearm jammed, he knew that once he seen Kai Frost with the weapon, and Kai Frost started firing, that guess what? I got to start running. So now most of when they did the autopsy, to now go into why I'm going to tell you it's landing where it's landing, is because he was hit mostly in the back. And like when you think about the back area, is the lower back, the upper back, the back of the arm, the back of the leg. And so now after the autopsy has dropped, they want to rule it as a homicide. So now Kai Frost may be looking at facing murder charges. And the reason why I have to say it like that is for YouTube purposes, but you guys understand when I say murder charges is because of the position in what T Hood was in other words, he probably didn't have to fire because now his life no longer becomes in harm, nor his sister, the firearm that he had jamming and him running. So within him being in the position and running, and Kai Frost shooting, it's now like like I said, it's now like he becomes the victim. So the update with that is where we're at when it comes down to the T Hood and Kai Frost situation. Place charges of yet. He is not in custody. He's not in custody, y'all. He's not in custody yet as well. So I think the investigation is still going to proceed to go on. And as you guys know, prior before when I spoke on the T Hood situation, I spoke on it because it was videos that was dropped in him physically harming. Sorry guys, sometimes I could go in and out because I'm using this little thing, but it's actual video that showed him harming Kelsey Frost, which is the child of Rashida and Kirk Frost. And that depicted something that could tell you that she was in imminent danger as well. It showed videos of him attacking her and also attacking himself, just to let her know like you're not, almost like a controlling mechanism, like I'm gonna hurt myself if you choose to tell, so you gotta shut up. And I think that even when came out here as a young lady, she's still young, you guys have grace on her because she's still young, and she spoke on saying certain things like if he was still alive, and although we went through what we went through, I would have still been with him. Just bear with her, because I think that when you go through domestic violence, is a lot of mental trauma. And then being as young as she is, she's still in the works of learning who she is and developing her mental. With that being said, First Lady OG, what is your thoughts when it comes down to this like whole T Hood situation, and the fact that now her brother may be facing charges in regards to trying to protect his sister? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. First, say you could take over. I gotta run in. I'm coming right back.
Well, all right, y'all. As we were speaking, talking about this domestic violence, that's just such a broad. I don't know why it's so touchy, because at the end of the day, it's been around. It's very prevalent. It is all over in all forms. Like TV is just, including just family violence. I'm talking about between the mom and dad. I'm talking about between the two people living together, the children, the mother and the children, volatile brother situation, the mother, the brother, two sisters, the daddy and the sister. Like, it is just violence within the family. And this is exactly what the plan was. We have to start getting better at discerning what's really going on. The truth of the matter is they've been coming for us, our children, and our families from the beginning of time. And through all types of abuse and disrespect and things of that nature, we have got to learn how to discern and not fall victim and be right where they want us.
The previous video. So you guys go check out my previous video because I can, and I am a person like this. Like, I think a part of life is being able to stand in your truth and also being able just to accept certain things that you have went through because it's a testimony to assist someone else. And I mean that. It is a testimony to assist someone else, right? And like I said, just go back and check out my previous videos. I have spoken on my experience, and I ain't even go in depth, but I will give you guys that. So check me out on TikTok. I'll be on TikTok doing story times, y'all. So check me out on TikTok soon. So I'll be there soon. So just look forward to seeing me, the Odyssey Podcast on TikTok, giving y'all story time. But overall, what I am feeling when it comes down to just this situation, besides this being a public situation based on the people, this is happening consistently and it's not even out there for a lot of young ladies that are going through domestic violence, that are losing their lives. And yes, people will say, why didn't she go to the police? Well, let's make this very clear. Between going to the police and then even going to family, as a female that may have come from a certain upbringing, sometimes going to a family makes you feel embarrassed to even say to yourself, like, oh, I'm accepting what I'm going through. And I ain't never seen that before. Like, some young people, you guys may be like, oh, they should know better. They should know how to walk out of a situation. I just want us to take time to understand that we all been young before and we've maybe been where Kelsey's been. You know what I mean? Now, do I agree to certain decisions that was made? But guess what? If I'm going to say I've experienced or I've been there, I have an ideal to why she maybe made certain decisions or why she's coming out to say certain things. And I have a daughter, you know, and I don't never want my daughter to ever allow herself to experience things that I've experienced because I was lost. And we've all came through that part. So at some point, what I would say to my young people is we understand that you'll make mistakes. Maybe not the masses, you'll have those that judge, but you'll come across people that understand where you're at or what you may be going through. And it's okay to fall short, but don't ever not understand that you are worthy and you are something that's powerful and you were created in order to do something powerful. And that's where I'm at with that. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue to follow this case. And no, I don't think that this young man should have lost his life either. Like, I think this young man needed help. I think a lot of people failed him. The reason why is because they seen that they seen he needed help and they still assisted in his non-progress. They still assisted in his failures. They
Excuse
still
me, I will
helped
say
him
to this
continue
age,
to fail. I'm sorry, First Lady.
but
Can you say that
I
again?
would, to play the devil's advocate with that, yes, a lot of people failed him as well. They
Mm-hmm.
failed him early in his years, probably trying to be in denial. And now it came to a point where it was fear. You understand what I'm saying? See, now they let it go too far, and they themselves, his immediate family that knew he needed help, now they're scared of him. You understand? I mean,
And
I'm
that's
not
sad.
saying that it's right,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying that that makes it okay for him to do what he did to Kelsey and anyone else. But I'm just saying, when you look at it as the family, like you said, first and foremost, you knew that there was a situation and you failed him as a young person because he didn't just wake up ticked as he is now. He grew with some things as far as being a broken young man, but there were always some signs, as you stated, that they missed
Mhm.
and they failed him on that part. He's been in school, hasn't he? The whole school system. Nobody said anything and felt like he needed some type of extra help. So it
And I
goes
think,
that far. And
you
now
know what
that
I'm
he's
gonna tell you
gotten to
though,
where he
First
is,
Lady
he's
OG,
upcoming rapper, which means
and I
he,
think, you know what I'm gonna tell you, I would tell you this thing. When it comes down to like the southern areas, and please, I'm not saying it in any form or way. I feel like in any, it's all about upbringing. Let me say it. It's totally about upbringing, but hear me out, right? When I was young, you already know, going down to like Georgia and all these places or whatever have you, I've seen young females that were like 14, 15, pregnant, all that stuff, things that I'm just like, you know what I mean? And you begin to realize that it was certain things that they were seeing and they had to deal with, and then you realize that it's a lot of pain because for some reason, and I'm not just specifically, so I just want everybody to know, I'm not just like putting it strictly on like just like southern. Like I said, it's like a general, but when you look at just like particular areas with certain things, you realize that like the sufferation and the things that these youth
wasn't.
are dealing with, right? And I'm talking about 15, and by 18, 19, you have like six, seven kids.
But see, now,
No
for
help.
the devil's advocate for that,
You've been abused, but you have no
um,
help. You're still
but
trying
that's
to
the
figure
way,
out.
see, that's now when you want to go down back home down south now,
And I only say that to
that
say
was
because Tiha's mom started making babies at a very young age.
no, but I'm just saying she just happens to be almost like, what would she be? A millennial, but I'm just saying she still happens to be somewhat of a newer mother that started young. I'm only saying that to say through the history, um, they started young, definitely in the South, um, making babies and having at least 12, 14, and 16 children. Now, not to say I mean nobody can say that's wrong, that's bad, that's nothing. That's just the way it was in the South years ago. Because when I look at the family tree, like I don't know, it's not too many of them that had less than 10 children. Like someone that was considered that didn't have a lot of children back then with like 8 children. So
Right.
I don't know, just like when we look at the ages and the men, it's just like
Mm-mm-mm.
it was always wrong
It's not.
to me with the way certain things were done. But when you go back as long as I can remember, after just turning 55, back in the days in the South, still as it is in other countries, the legal age limits at being 14, to me, that should be nowhere.
I mean,
I mean,
listen,
who am I? But I would never let legal age be no 14 years old to do nothing but go to school by yourself.
it shouldn't, because that's not, the mind is not even developed. The mind is definitely not developed. But I say this to say, when we
Mine
look
is still
at
growing at 19.
people's, right, but when we look at people's lifestyles, I think when I come out here and I speak on certain stories or things that come across, it just, I'm never ever judging, but I'm always trying to understand where an individual may be, and always understanding to speak to a level of experience, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And that's why I say, we all have testimonies to things that we've went through. Some of us may want to, you know, not reveal it, because some people are afraid to live in their truth, and that's understandable as well. But I just want to say, like I said before, just take the time out to like give our young people grace. Like, give them grace in certain areas in life that they are going through as they embark on a journey of finding self, because we've all been there. We did not come out, excuse me when I say this, we was not born big. Okay, we was not born big. So I say that to say, this is why we need to have grace. And if we take time to put ourselves in to where maybe was, because guess what, we always 18, we always 21, we always 13, and we always an infant, right? And was coming across a lot of people being very disrespectful and saying, especially older people as well, saying a lot of disparaging things. And like I said, I don't agree with everything that's coming out as far as the situation with Kelsey and how things are being handled based on how it took place, and now her having to not only lose somebody that she feels like she was in love with, but also having almost like, at this point she don't know if she's going to lose her brother or she's not, but she loves the both. And one is a relationship love
But
and one is an
the
unconditional
one
love,
person
and like
that
I
you
said, just give
realize
her
that
grace
she
with
don't
that.
love, and that's Kelsey. And that's the problem too.
I feel
So
like just
somebody
give her
can
grace, because it's been a
tell
lot to be
somebody
said.
to go there too. Because
And
Kelsey
even
has
with
to
Kirk
love
and
herself.
Rashida as the parent.
No, I mean I'm in there. I just said that. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah, give
Kelsey,
them
at the end
grace.
of the day, as well, she does not love herself. She love him. She love her brother. What we're forgetting is
Hmm.
that the whole plot, the whole story is behind Kelsey not loving Kelsey. To me, that's the bottom line of all of this.
Kelsey knows
In
herself.
order to
Hmm.
be abused, stay there and say some of the delusional terms that she has spoken, we know Kelsey doesn't love herself. So
Yep.
mm, mm, mm.
And it's
It's all of these
understanding
children.
that when you're at that stage, sometimes you're not realizing you're not loving yourself, and she hasn't realized that yet, because she's feeling
No,
like,
you
oh,
don't.
I love him, to where I love him through his pain. In order for you to love him is for you to love yourself. But like I said, to give a young person grace is because they're still going through that journey. They're still going through the same journey that you went through when you were their age. And I just
If you
say that
can't
for the
find
elder
grace
people
at
that
the
leave
end of
certain
the day,
comments.
if you can't find grace, then
Hmm.
stand in your truth. and go back to 18, your own self.
That's
Go back to 15. Go back to
it.
21.
But some
Go
people
back
can't
to
do that. Some
25.
people can't do
What were
that. And
you
I say
doing?
that because like you see certain comments and it's just like, yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's just the way it's always
Exactly.
going to be. Somebody's always going to talk. Somebody put up a
Hmm.
clip of a Tyler Perry show. Oh my goodness, you had to see the comments until somebody clearly came on and was like, everybody that's clearly talking in the comments, everybody's wrong. And I'm guess none of y'all watched the show. I was just watching these comments cracking up. And somebody actually came on. It's like none of y'all don't even watch the show. Y'all don't know who this one is that. Yo, my point is that everybody's always got something to say. And
Hmm.
don't even know what they be talking about. You could say what you want to say about Kelsey. You ain't never been in her situation. You could say what you want to say about different parents and they parenting. You don't
And
know
there's
who they
no rule book to it.
is. A lot of the parents are two broken people
There's
together.
no rule book to it. But like I
No.
said, I say this to say discernment on certain things that you may say. And I will continue to follow this story, guys. I will continue to follow this Tevin Hood, aka T Hood situation. Keep you guys updated. I do have my opinions that I just divulged to you guys. I am gonna continue to follow the case. I do feel like K Frost's life should not end. Um, to go to jail based on a decision on helping his sister. It's a lot behind it. It's a lot that we probably don't know. You know what I mean? It's a lot we probably ain't gonna know. That's the
I mean,
crazy
it
shit
is a
about
lot
this
that
whole
I mean,
thing.
and that's for sure.
So
But what we do know is that everyone within the situation was in some sort and can all be deemed to have had a temporary moment of out of body, insanity, whatever. When
yeah.
gunshots are going, I don't care if when he first pulled the gun, pointed in a direction, like we
Mhm.
said last time, we don't know whether he was pointing it at him or Kelsey, but it didn't go off. And then at the end of the day, I don't know. Like this is
It's a
really,
lot of
really,
things with
really,
that.
really
It's a lot of
hard
things with it
with
because
things to
guess what?
consider.
His thought could
Because
have
to
been,
see
oh, the
somebody
gun
running away, mm,
didn't go off, but I'm still gonna go and get my shit because I don't know if he got some other shit to pull.
I mean, I get that. I get that too. But once he starts running away from you,
Mm.
we already know the shit that he's running with don't work.
But then this is where it
If
comes
he
down
do
to
have
emotions.
something else, it ain't on him. You
Mhm.
could have ran up on him and beat the holy living shit out of him. You could have just the same beats he was putting on his sister. He could have been putting on old boy. So it is going to
But
be
I
a lot.
think that it was
That's
like a whole bunch of emotions involved, fast decision
I
making.
get it.
Like I
I
said,
get it,
I'm gonna
daughter.
continue to follow the
But
story.
against according to the Matrix, somebody running away and you still continuing to
No,
put
I get
shots
it.
from
It's
behind.
considered homicide because they're running away. At this point in time, you don't even if you hit him once, then understandable. But for the multiple shots that took place, then we get that that's why they
And then in the spaces where it
end up
wasn't
ruling
just
it a
like
homicide
he got
afterwards. But like I
but
said,
it
guys, we're
wasn't
gonna
just like
continue
he
with
got
this.
5 shots in the legs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like his feet or legs was toe up
No, it
so
was
he couldn't run
multiple
away
parts
because he
of the
needed to,
area with while he was
you know what
running.
I'm
So he
saying?
got
So
hit in the
it's
back, the arms, and yes, I agree with you 100%. But that's why I say I think that as I continue to just
but I
embark
still
on
don't think that
following this
that
story,
guy is a like you said, I don't think he's like a super murderer and he deserves to do like he really was trying to like I don't believe that either.
definitely not. I think that it was probably in the midst of rage, also
Right.
protection.
It's
I
just
think it
like
was a combination of
motherfucker, you
probably
was
multiple
gonna
emotions that
shoot
he couldn't
me.
control.
It could have been, we don't know. You was gonna shoot me. Fuck, get out of here. We don't know. Like you said, it's gonna be shit we don't never know. They only
And
telling us
that's
what
where
they
I'm
want us
at
to
with
know
it.
now, and they lying about half of that.
Well, like I told you guys, we will continue to follow this story as it goes on. I just want to jump into something before I have to end off with y'all. And I'm just going to start off with this first, Lady OG. What do you feel about the snitching culture? Like, what is your thoughts when you hear people speak on the snitching culture? Like, when you hear that, I definitely just want to get your thoughts before I even embark on this next topic that I want to jump into. And I'm not going to be able to fully go into it as much as I want, but I'll give you guys
I'm
a
about to
briefing.
say
You
this is
already know the
really like
vibes.
for the timing that you have. This is a very
We'll be back with it. You already know.
yeah, we have to come back with this because this is a very not easy topic to just skim over. Not after just being made 55 years and having been and still dealing with young people in the street. The
All
streets is
right.
just so different from many years ago, but many years ago, snitching was one thing. When you pay attention to what's going on now, like I said, things are very different. Now, there's certain styles or type of snitching now that warrants different situations. So, like I said, um, yeah, we're gonna have to come back with this because that's a lot. That's a lot. It all started getting funny to me when what was the name? When they first started showing the the craziness with the 6ix9ine situation. But does anybody but everybody to me just jumped on, yeah, he's a snitch, and nobody read or knew the true paperwork behind everything. So I don't know, y'all. That's a good one right here. You with a clan, y'all went down as far as saying y'all doing this, y'all in or one for all. Da, 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 da. That was the pact y'all made in the beginning. Shit got fucked and you reneged. Yeah, that's fucked up. Supposed to hold it down. Supposed to hold it down. She has got to leave for work, guys. And I know she needs to be there in 23 minutes. Although she's getting a ride, she still needs to be, yeah, like, there she is. So I'm
All
going
right, y'all.
peace, love, and light, y'all, and
I'm back in
see
the
y'all.
building. So, like I said, just wanted to give y'all a brief run through. Like I was telling y'all, we will be back in the building to just give y'all, but y'all already know the vibes. Because for those of y'all who's out here watching the internet, then y'all know what's been going on with this Young Thug situation. As y'all know, Young Thug has recently been released, aka Jeffrey Williams, and upon his release and even before his release, he's just been running his mouth. He has been also making certain statements about other people that were involved in this RICO case alongside with him, calling them snitches. We talking about Little Woody, that's known as Kenneth Copeland. We're talking about Gunna, which is known as I believe his name is like Sergio Williams or something. No, Sergio Kitchens. Fernando Crenshaw, which is known as Mondo. These are the big main players in this particular case, in which when Young Thug was released, aka Jeffrey Williams, he stated they were rats, they were snitches, they took the stand, and audio has dropped. So now the audio that has dropped is of Young Thugger talking a whole bunch of things that will definitely let you know that that's a part of snitching if you're going to call everybody else a snitch. A video/audio clip um was dropped on Young Thug being interrogated allegedly. This took place in like 2023, where he was mentioning Pee Wee Roscoe. Now, Pee Wee Roscoe is a part of the Young Thug family. and a YSL associate. But it was said to say that he was the one that was involved in the shooting that took place for the well, let's break it down. A shooting took place, right? And that shooting that took place was Little Wayne's tour bus. They're saying Pee Wee Roscoe was the one who did the shooting that had not only Little Wayne's tour bus shot up, but someone else's. And that was under the orders of Birdman. Okay. So now, when he's sitting in the interrogation room and they ask him about Pee Wee Roscoe, he then says, well, I'm not going to mess up y'all whole interrogation or what y'all already got or evidence or whatever, but my man is not all right in the head. You know what I mean? So Pee Wee Roscoe did go to jail for shooting up these two alleged buses, and he went to jail for 10 years. He's also speaking and he's saying that he doesn't feel what has been dropped with the audio and Young Thug mentioning the whole bus situation and the shooting is considered to be snitching because it was already he was already in jail for it. So fast forward, it was also while he was in the interrogation room, he also stated to the feds like, you know what, please, I'll tell y'all anything y'all want to know
Yeah, always will be. I'm grateful and thankful for.
if you guys are willing to just let me slide through. Pretty much y'all take my number, y'all want while I'm out there, y'all need anything y'all need, I'll give it to y'all. So now for what he had put out there in regards to Gunna, which is Sergio, let me tell you, Sergio Kitchens, which was he was stating that Gunna was a snitch and all of that. And Gunna did take the stand. And one of the questions that Gunna was asked when he took the stand was YSL a gang? And he stated, yes, it was a gang. So that put him in the lane of that. We know that Little Woody took the stand, but Little Woody took the stand in the case of his best friend getting killed and him being accused of his best friend's unalivement, which he had nothing to do with. That was all Young Thugger, right? Which is AKA Jeffrey Williams. So now that the audio has been dropped since Young Thugger, aka Jeffrey Williams, has been saying everybody is snitching and everybody is doing this and they a rat. Now audio has dropped on him in the interrogation room and him on the jail phone calls talking to Mariah the scientist, which is his current girlfriend, which allegedly right now is not because some other audio just got leaked to him saying some shit about her. 21 Savage, and him just talking and disclosing mad shit in regards to what's been going on with 21 Savage or whatever. As you know, for y'all who don't know, the involvement with Little Baby's involved in this. But let me tell y'all, this shit goes so deep, and I'm gonna go into my feelings after we dive more deeper into what we call the rat culture. Let's just call it the ratting culture, okay? Because we're gonna have to dive into what the ratting culture is. And I don't care what anybody say. Matter of fact, I'll just say what I think coming to the ending of that. Y'all already know the vibes. With that being said, we also have YNW Millie. Okay, so word on the streets, YNW Millie may be serving a full life sentence, and he may as well probably take the life sentence plea based on the fact that his co-defendant YNW Portland has just taken a 16-year plea. Yes, YW and Portland has taken a 16-year plea, which now puts YNW Millie in a very messed up position. Why? Because now YNW Bortlen will be able to fill in the blanks that the investigators was not able to fill in the double homicide of the two friends. I'm going to tell you guys The rap industry is going down. It's going down. Our young people is what we really need to save because they are the ones who are being sacrificed. I would say that, okay? Um, but yeah, we're gonna dive into that YNW Millie situation. I'm gonna continue to follow his trial. I actually spoke about it maybe in 2023. You guys can go back and look at some of those videos as well. I told you guys I'll keep you guys updated. The last thing I spoke about was the fact that it was a mistrial. Now he's being retried. Now the fact that his co-defendant YNW Bortlen has taken a plea deal. He will not be going to trial, but he will be testifying in the YNW Millie case, explaining what actually happened that day that both of those young men were unalived. I love you guys so much. This was a pleasure. And I have to head out. Y'all already know the vibes. So, this is the Odyssey Podcast with your girl Word and the First Lady OG. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend. Y'all already know the vibes. If you didn't hit that up like button, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button, put that shit up in the air for me. You guys already know. I love my subscribers, my replay gang, the bushwatchers, last but not least, my moderators, because I can't do this thing without you guys. If you guys have any comments, please leave it in the comment box. I will be looking at it. I'll be commenting. You guys already know the vibe. And I'll be back just to keep you guys going on this following when it comes down to this young thugger. And like I said, the ratting we're in the ratting timing, the ratting timing, and this I think the YNW Millie Bortlen case falls into the Young Thugger situation as well, y'all. But look, this is Word on the Streets with the Odyssey podcast. Like I told y'all, I love y'all so much. It's a vibe. I gotta get myself up out of here. I'm gonna hand it over to the First Lady OG. I love y'all. Peace, love, and light. First Lady OG. Peace.
Stay here, same thing here. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for supporting the Odyssey Pad podcast and coming through and listening out for the word on the street. So y'all make sure y'all go do a little research, jump down a couple of little rabbit holes before y'all come back. Hit the like button. That's the thumbs up. Hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a live. Run on over there to Auntie House Unlocked. Hit that subscribe button over there, and I'll see y'all soon, okay? Over there, don't worry, don't worry. We cooking it up at Auntie House too. Oh no, what did I do? I don't know if y'all could see me what I did. See, stop touching stuff. Let me let y'all go. Peace,
Can still hear
love,
you, Ron.
light. Until the next time. I'll see y'all.
See ya.
That sounds smooth. Put the CD on a vibe with that justice in her name is where the truth comes alive. From the headlines to the plot, she's got an ear to the ground, serving news that's real with the beat and a sound. Word on the street, justice in the air. Bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. A calm in the storm with that urban kick. She's got style and grace like a journalistic trick. From the heart of the city to the outskirts world, she captures the world like a camera dial. Word on the street, justice in the air. Bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. A calm in the storm with that urban kick. She's got style and grace like a journalistic trick. From the heart of the city to the outskirts wild. She captures the world like a camera dial. Word on the street, justice in the air. Bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall. She paints a shades that aren't black or white. In the ink of her stories, there's always some light. No matter where you are, you'll hear her call. Echoing the truth, standing tall. Word on the street, justice in the air. Bringing you the truth like a Caribbean flair. Celebrities and community, big stories and small. Word brings the light so you don't feel the fall.